Hi everyone, this is Robyn with mypinkstamper.com, and I have a quick fun video for you guys today. I'm going to be showing you a fun technique that I've never shared with you guys before on a video, but it's a fun way to watercolor, and we're going to be using the watercolor paper. These are all items that you can purchase in the catalog on my web page at mypinkstamper.stampinup.net. Please let me know if you ever have any questions or if you need any help with anything. Okay, so we're going to be using the baby bear. I'm using the Stampin' Up! Size E block. So this is a bigger block, and you can use the same block for all three of the images that we're using. I have 3 blocks, so it'll be quicker for me, but you can always just clean off your stamp and then put the next stamp on. We're using the 3 colors, Crumb Cake, Soft Sky, and Early Espresso. We're also using this little spritzer. These are really fun to add just different dimension to your projects and your card. You can add inkers in there with rubbing alcohol, and you can spray it on your cards for fun technique. I just have plain water in here because I'm going to be using the watercolor paper and doing something super fun. I'm using this new punch that's in the new catalog. I love it. I'm so excited. And the name of it's going to be up here because I can't remember the name of it right now. So I won't try to remember. These are the new embellishments, Enamel embellishments. Again, the name will be up at the top left. These are awesome. So these are the brights, and I'm just going to use the Melon Mambo sheet here, the colors. If I didn't use them all already, I didn't. Okay, so I'm using that as a quick embellishment. So we're going to go ahead and get started stamping right away. I'm also using a little strip. I tried to use some of my scraps that I had from my classes and from just projects that I never finished. And so I'm using this piece of Melon Mambo cardstock, and I'm using the Lucky Stars. I've already embossed it with the Big Shot. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is just a really super fun technique. And I've done this in the past. I don't think I've ever made a video with it. So this is using the Stampin' Up! Watercolor paper. Like I had said, this is using one of their little water spritzers. I'm sure I will put the correct name up here somewhere, like I do. Okay, so I'm gonna have that ready. And these are the 3 colors I told you I'm using. So I just like to do one color at a time, especially when I'm using colors that are so close. Well, actually, I like even doing this when they're different color families or different colors. Okay, so this is the Crumb Cake, and I'm going to start with this one here. And I forgot to mention, I'm also using Teeny Tiny Wishes, and I'm going to use the Just For You. I needed a really small sentiment, and that's what I'm going to be using. Pull my supplies, my little bucket next to me. Okay, so the first one I'm going to use is the solid image. So this is how you do it. With the solid images, you're doing a lighter color, and then you're going to go darker, and then with the one that has the most detail, you're going to use the darkest color. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So I'm starting with the lightest color, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my spritzer. Let me just spray it first. I'm just going to spray this, and I did it a little too much when I did my practice one. If you guys saw mine's a little bit smeared. So while it's wet, you want it to be wet. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my bear on here, my cute little bear. I hope I did the right size paper. I tried. So this is going to give you kind of just a smeared, kind of a fuzzy look. Now it does have, well actually this one doesn't, but the other ones do. So it normally wouldn't stamp like this, but because I'm using the watercolor, it's going to, and I'm going to while it's still wet, and I might spray another thing of water because I wanted it to be a little bit wetter on that. Now I'm going to use the Soft Suede, and I'm using the one that is in the middle with the detail. So the stamp pads are raised, so even if the stamp doesn't fit, you can make it fit because they're raised. So I'm going to stamp this right on the top of there. And this is 2-step or 3-step stamping. There's just more than 1 step involved. See, look at that. It looks like a fuzzy, wuzzy teddy bear. So somebody said that. I posted a picture of this on my Facebook page and my Instagram. I'm Robyn with a Y, stamps on Instagram if you'd like to have more projects that I don't post on my YouTube channel. You can follow me there, and I post a lot of projects. But somebody said Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear, and that's what it reminds me of as well. Chocolate chip is the color I'm using with the last one. And we're just going to put this on here. And it's going to kind of just, do you guys see how it just has like kind of a smeared look? I mean, it's really cool in person. And you could actually, this isn't that wet. I feel that there was water in here. I could have made it a little more wet. And I'll show you guys my other sample that I made. I'm gonna leave my chocolate chip out, and I'm going to use this punch right here. They lie flat. You store them flat like this, which is awesome. You store them flat, and then you just pop them open, and I do it upside down. And I want the same look for my whole card, so I'm going to use the little saying, "Just for you," and I'm going to use my spritzer. I'm just going to do it once on that since it's just a little piece. Just for you, and I'm going to stamp it on just the right side. And it's a little, it'll kind of, when it dries, it'll kind of blend a little bit. And I'm okay with it being crooked. Normally I would want it to be a little more straight, but this whole card is just going to have that fun off-key look, I guess. Is that the right word? Okay, and now we are going to stamp one more time with that technique, and then I'll kind of dry everything off in a minute. You can get it, now I just did a couple squirts on this. If I would have done more water and made it so it was more runny, I would have got a more, you know, runny look. And that's what I did on my card that I posted this weekend, and I'll show you the difference. This one's just kind of like a light one. Now I'm also going to use the color Melon Mambo. And you just need a scrap, and this is again still the watercolor paper. You just need a scrap of it. Okay, so I'm again going to just spray a couple times, and I'm going to use the bow right here and just ink it up. And this will also just give me the watercolor look. It's really fun. It even kind of smeared a little bit over here. Whoops, I'm off camera, which is fun. So what I was doing for a quick dry, you can just let them dry. It's the watercolor paper. It's going to, like, you know, fold up just a second, just a little bit. But if you want a quick dry, I just use my, it's not plugged in. I just use my heat tool. You just don't want to put it together when it's still a little bit damp. It'll just curl up. This one's actually pretty dry. I don't think I got it too wet, but that's okay. And let's go ahead and dry this one a little bit. And I'm excited to see what you guys do with this technique. It's just super fun to play with. I know I'm going to be making a lot of projects with this technique. Okay, so now we're doing a little cutting. I know, you know how I feel about that. But I'm going to cut this bow out that I just stamped. And I want to save my watercolor paper, like almost every scrap. It's like gold to me. Because you get just little pieces. It's just for little pieces on your projects. You don't want to do a whole, you know, page of it for your scrapbook with this watercolor paper. Okay, so I just cut this down a little bit, and I'll start putting my page together in just a second. We're going to go ahead and cut this out by hand. Some people call it fussy cutting. I just don't like calling it that. You guys know that. And I say it every time. I might as well just call it that, but I just don't want to. And you can't make me. Okay, I hope this is on screen. Can you guys see it? Yay, you can. I know you can see it. I've got this new video editing and camera stuff that I'm working with. Finally upgraded after 8 or 9 years. I found some of my old videos, and they're from actually 2008. So I've been doing these videos for you guys for a long time. And I think it was finally time for me to upgrade to a different camera. This one's just easier for me to film and to edit, and I was ready for it. Okay. It only took 650 videos, but that's all right. Okay, so I cut it all, yay, and I'm alive. I survived cutting that. Okay, oops, just threw all my paper on the floor. All right, so now I have an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of Whisper White thick cardstock, and somebody asked me on my Facebook page the other day, my pink stamper, what's the difference between the thick and then just the regular Whisper White? Well, the thick is meant for card bases, so it's thicker, and that's why it's called thick. So it's just a nice bright white that's smooth, so you could still stamp on it if you want to, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I just want a really thick, stiff piece of paper for the project that I'm using. And the Whisper White, the regular, it's a little bit thinner. It's not like thin, but it's not as strong for card bases, so this one stands up nice for a card base. Okay, so now I'm using, and again, I told you guys I did the Lucky Stars. You could really probably use any background with this. The one that I made earlier is actually, the one I made this weekend is using the large polka dots, which is one of my favorite folders. Highly recommend it. So I'm just going to add this swatch back here. I just wanted a little bit of, you know, just more texture, more color. And then I'm adding this on. So you guys probably want to know the sizes, don't you? Do you want to know the sizes? Okay. This piece right here is, let me see what size I did. Okay, so this one is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And this size is 3 3/4 by 5. So I just made it a little bit bigger. And this is the Early Espresso, and this is Melon Mambo cardstock. I love that everything coordinates with Stampin' Up. That's one of the big sellers for me, is that everything matches, coordinates, and I really love that. Okay, I ran out of, just have to grab my next one. I'm gonna switch to the Fast Fuse. That's the next thing that's closest to me, is the Fast Fuse. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on here. So this is cut down just a little bit smaller than my normal layer. And we will go ahead and take this piece right here, and I'm going to use, I'm gonna have to clean off my scissors so they are still sticky. Okay, I'm gonna put the dimensionals on the back of this so it pops up just a little bit. Are my fingernails in your way? Look at my nails match. And the name of this color is actually Mambo. Is that funny? And I'm using Melon Mambo. I love how I do that on my videos. I'll be using the same color as that I'm using on my project. It was not planned, I promise. Okay. I'm using a lot on this one because I want it raised, and I just want to make sure that, you know, it's watercolor paper. So I want it to kind of stay flat, not get all wiggly. So we just peel these off. Love the dimensionals. Have you guys tried one of my online classes yet? I'm just saying that because I'm posting my next one, I think tomorrow, Tuesday or Wednesday. And it's a fun class. So if you've never taken one from me, it's probably a really good one to start with on mypinkstamper.com. I'm so excited about it. So just had to do a little plug for my online class because they're super fun. I love to do them. Okay, so now I am going to use a glue dot and just stick it right here in the middle. And the glue dot's a little bit bigger, so I just take my fingers and I, you know, form it so it's smaller. So it kind of just, and I'm gonna stick this right on my little bear. And the great thing about it is you could really use any color you wanted. Now this is called Baby Bear, and it's really like, it's in the category for babies. So it's like, you know, hello baby, something for baby. I don't think I'm probably ever gonna make this for a baby card. I'm gonna use it for a thank you card or a how are you card, or, you know, or I love you very much, but there's not an I love you very much in there, but if there was, that's what I would use on this one. Okay, so I'm gonna use some of these dots. And since there's stars in the background, I'm gonna go ahead and use the stars on here, and then I'll use the little dot too, like this. I'm just kind of making this up as I go. I love these enamels. They are like super awesome, these enamel dots. And I love them that they come in all of the 4 color families. And then the newest, is it the newest in color? One of the in colors you can get them in. I don't think you can get them in both. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy my video. Here's the one that I made this weekend, and you can see that I used a little bit more water because I was kind of experimenting, you know, so it's kind of more smeared. You get the more smeared look. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. So I super duper love this stamp set. I love this card. And as always, you guys can get anything off my store at mypinkstamper.stampin'up.net. Don't forget to make sure that it says Robyn Cardin in the upper right hand corner. And if you have any questions, you can contact me at mypinkstamper@gmail.com. The supply list will be, if you're watching this on YouTube, the supply list is on the description for this video. If you're on my blog, it's also on my website, my blog. Have a great day. Bye.